Peace, 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 and good evening to those of you who are catching this as the recording. Thank you so much for joining me in today's Tea Time Spirituality Talk. I am going to be discussing the upcoming Mercury retrograde in the sign of Pisces. If you do not follow me on Facebook, I want to encourage you to check me out on Facebook because yesterday evening, myself and Darren Lamont went live on the Mercury retrograde cycle in the sign of Pisces as well as sidereally in the sign of Aquarius. So I'm going to be giving just a few things with that I gave in that video, but not too many. So you're going to have to kind of like watch this and watch that to get like the full spectrum of what I am touching on when it comes to this particular Mercury retrograde cycle. And in this particular one, I really want to talk about, just give like some pointers of how it's going to affect the 12 zodiac signs. So, and I may leave some things out. I mean, just definitely understand when it comes to these planetary rotations, there's too many things that happen to name them all out. I mean, it will take all of our lives to name them all out. Peace and greetings, Christina. Thanks so much for joining in. It will take all of our lives to just state everything that's going to happen. So astrologers, we tend to point out the things that are going to, happen on the broader scale, So nevertheless, I'm not going to hold you guys too much longer. I'm going to get right into it. But before I talk about this particular upcoming Mercury retrograde, it officially starts, I believe, on the 17th or 18th of February. I know that it is going to be at, say, 11, 12 degrees of the sign of Pisces when this happens. So, but before I dive into everything, and I'm going to give some pointers for all 12 signs, or I'm going to give some say some slight predictions, very broad though, predictions of how it's going to affect all 12 signs, okay? So you're going to want to listen for your rising sign, you're going to want to listen for your sun sign, and you're going to want to listen to your moon sign. So listen all the way to the end. I'm not going to be on here too long because I got to take my son to track practice anyhow. But before I get into Mercury retrograde and how it's going to affect us, I do want to let you guys know that Darren Lamont and myself, we are enrolling for our spring semester of our astrologic beginners courses, as well as our beginners course and intermediate course. So if you're looking to learn astrology on a much deeper and profound level, you want to learn from two astrologers who've been in the game for a long time so you could get the full spectrum and full information about this dynamic science. Also, we do have our retreat coming up in December. We're going to Chile to see the total solar eclipse that is taking place. And we are grabbing a few of our favorite people who are really into astrology, and we are taking you guys with us. And we are also going to be giving everyone that attends a full comprehensive reading about how the total solar eclipse is going to affect you particularly. So we're pulling out your charts. We're looking at the aspects it's going to be making to your planets. We're looking in your houses, and you're going to get it from a sidereal perspective as well as from a tropical perspective. So you want this fundamental information so you can maximize the potential benefits of this particular total solar eclipse that's coming up. So for more information on that, you can check out my website, astrologicschool.com, and click on the tab for Eclipse Retreat. The deposit is only $270 in order to hold your spot. So to no further ado, let's jump into Mercury retrograde in Pisces. So we already know a lot about Mercury retrograde. I'm pretty sure you guys have heard about Mercury retrograde when it comes to other astrologers. If you clicked on this video, you know about Mercury retrograde. But I am one of those people that I'm a metaphysician as well as an astrologer. And what I have noticed is that there's a lot of fear-mongering things surrounding around Mercury retrograde. And I want us to step away from the fear. I do want us to have a certain level of caution when it comes to maneuvering in life in general, but we shouldn't be so tapped and tuned into fear, because whatever vibrational frequencies we're tuned and tapped into, those are the things that we're going to be bringing into and creating within our realities. And when Mercury is retrograde, especially in the sign of Pisces, which rules fear, it tells us to not have fear. You know, despite anything that is going on, don't live in fear. Learn how to flow and understand that you create your reality based upon your energy. So are you creating more circumstances in which that you could be in fear, or are you creating your dream like reality? It is totally up to you. Now, Mercury retrograde in the sign of Pisces. I'm not going to talk about the qualities and characteristics of Mercury, nor am I going to talk about the qualities and characteristics of Pisces. Y'all heard that stuff enough. Okay, so Mercury retrograde in Pisces is going to, I'm going to talk about the highs and the lows, okay? I'm going to be jumping back and forth, and then we're going to get into all 12 signs, and then I'm going to say see y'all later, okay? So, Mercury retrograde in Pisces can cause issues in regards to phones, especially when it comes to water damage, when it comes to losing them, when it comes to them getting stolen. Okay, so you want to be mindful of that. That also applies to your vehicles. Vehicles are more prone to get stolen. They are more prone to deal with some type of a damage, or just issues in regards to your vehicles, especially dealing with the liquids in your vehicle. You also could get a flat tire. You're more prone to flat tires with Mercury retrograde in the sign of Pisces, because it's like the tire pressure is not able to hold itself up or something like that. Car dealing with issues with holding itself up. Excuse me. Mercury retrograde in the sign of Pisces will also have people feeling like they're losing their mind, kind of going crazy. You know, people that are more prone to mental illnesses, they will have more issues at this particular time dealing with mental breakdowns in things, okay? People also at this time on a higher notion could be healing from certain illnesses, sicknesses, and diseases. If they've been dealing with chronic illnesses or any illnesses at all, this is the time where they will be healing. For others, they could end up getting sick. So you really want to take care of and pay attention to your immunity, and you want to take care of and pay attention to your sleep. If you have been lacking and not getting enough rest, this is a time where you are going to be called to get a lot more rest, either by will or by force. You could end up not feeling so well, and that's the universe's way of telling you it is time to shut it down. It's time to relax. It's time to lay your head down and get some rest and recharge, okay? Now, Mercury retrograde in the sign of Pisces is going to help many people to recollect their dreams, and there will be more dream traveling. Those of you who naturally dream, you may have a hard time recollecting your dreams, or you may feel as though you're not dreaming as much during this particular season, okay? Mercury retrograde in Pisces is going to also help like the prison reform system. People are going to be getting released from prison and things like that. And some people may be going back to jail. So you want to be mindful. You want to know which side of the spectrum you are on. Everything in life is here to teach us, to to guide us into our evolution. So wherever you are in life, the universe is sending you the experiences that is going to help with your evolution. So don't freak out about anything. Now, Mercury retrograde in the sign of Pisces, you can deal with some very beautiful, blissful, magical, mystical things that leave you at a loss for words, okay? Having a loss of words, even getting caught up and kind of stuck on your words could happen as well. You can go to see someone speak and they could get stuck, on their words. Now, also a beautiful thing when it comes to this Mercury retrograde is that people who are poets or are artistic in general, they can find themselves getting back into their art, completing an art piece, or they can getting into their art, completing an art piece, but people that do art, they may have a hard time expressing their art at this particular time. Maybe it's too much emotion. Maybe it's too heavy. Maybe they deal with some more stage fright, or maybe they flop on stage, okay? This is highly likely with this particular retrograde. Mercury retrograde in Pisces tells you to remember to dance in life. Remember to take breaks. Remember to just chill and go with the flow of things. Remember the joy of not having to do anything, okay? It reminds you of the beauty of vacation. It's also a good time to be looking into vacations and, looking over vacations. Or even if you had planned a vacation before the 2nd of February, this is the time that you may be going on a vacation. Like your girl Kateria knows, I'm headed to Egypt next week. But I'm still going to be working. Phone's still going to be active. I ain't shutting nothing down. I still got to eat too, So, Mercury retrograde in the sign of Pisces is going to be doing so many things. Like, we're going to be hearing things about people being victims, in like victim reformation, or like victims of crimes, you know, getting some type of payment, you know, people having to fill out paperwork in regards to dealing with some type of a victimization type of a situation. We can hear about issues in regards to hospitals too. Hospitals releasing you know, paperwork and information about people that they weren't supposed to. And the same thing when it comes to prisons as well. We could be hearing about paperwork and documentation in regards to prisons, and that causing some type of an issue when it comes to the justice system. And we could even feel as though certain criminals are being let off too easily with Mercury retrograde in the sign of Pisces. Okay, so Mercury, you guys know that it deals with communication. And Mercury in the sign of Pisces is all about being compassionate and empathetic when it comes to your word. And at this point in time, you really want to reflect, because Mercury retrograde is about reflecting. You want to reflect on the words that you are using. You want to reflect on what you're saying. Where is it coming from? Where is it stemming from? Are you speaking out of fear? Are you speaking out of context? Are you speaking out of being in defense? Or are you speaking out of compassion, empathy, and love? It's going to remind you to be compassionate, to be empathetic, and to be of love. Okay. And that's a major thing when it comes to this particular Mercury retrograde, which I mentioned in my video on Facebook, is the fact that Pisces is or Venus, the planet of love in relationships, is exalted in the sign of Pisces. So there's going to be a lot going on about relationships. We're going to be hearing about manifesting things, manifesting a partner, you know, having your dream-like partnership and relationship. You're going to even be hearing things about what love really is. Like, I was even talking about how we so downplay the healing benefits of love. We act as if love doesn't really restore us physically, emotionally, mentally, and physically. And then we don't talk about how betrayal can cause physical harm. I heard a story about a woman that had a massive heart attack after she found out her man at the time cheated on her. You know, so we're going to be hearing more things about that, more things about love and what it really does, the great benefits of it, and, you know, the downfalls of heartbreak and how it could really cause physical damage. So many people that are on these health journeys to rise up to being a better version of themselves, but they are perpetually single and they feel like they're not, you know, reaching so many health goals. Think about becoming in love, you know, and opening yourself up to love. We're going to be even hearing about, and also people that are trying to be healthy, but you're in toxic relationships that can cause you to deal with ills with, you know, within your physical body. Also, there's going to be major things talking about, I believe it's pronounced philophobia, the fear of love, you know, and people dealing with the fear of love. I know I certainly deal with a certain level of philophobia myself because of my last relationship. I dealt with so much physical pain that it's like, oh my gosh, to become in love again and to subject myself to that level of pain. Wow, like that's scary, you know? So, but to be perpetually single is also scary too, because it's very unhealthy, especially if, I mean, for men and women, because the lack of sexual intimacy can cause you to deal with just issues within your organs. Men could deal with issues with their prostate. Women could deal with issues with their inner organs, can start to fall down and collapse on one another. So, you know, we're going to be talking about those types of things. You're going to be hearing about that type of stuff naturally. We're going to be hearing more things about the coronavirus and hearing people saying that more so of them catching the coronavirus, they're going to be saying that they are a victim of the coronavirus. So I want to get into how it's going to affect all 12 signs. So I don't want to talk too much, but yeah, victims, dealing with prisons, the news, hearing about things in regards to matters, traveling via boat, you know, people going on cruises. This could be good or bad. You know, you're going to be hearing about new shoes or an old shoe, you know, being brought back in a new form. People talking about removing makeup or not wearing makeup, or a new makeup coming out, being released, or a reform of a makeup or whatever, you know, or finding out that there's chemicals in the makeup making people sick, you know, just talking about all of these kinds of things. And also hearing about people getting off of drugs or getting back on drugs, and, you know, dealing with their sobriety journeys. We're going to be hearing about that as well. Addictions overall, people talking about escapism, wanting to escape, needing a vacation. uh like I mentioned, fear, sickness, diseases, and your dream-like reality. This is the time to see your dreams come true, okay? Now, let's jump into how it's going to affect all 12 signs. I'm going to start at the sign of Pisces. Pisces and Pisces risings. This could affect your outlook on life, the way that you are viewing things. You may find out that you are allowing yourself to be trapped or imprisoned from your own perception of reality. You could also do something to cause some type of a harm to your face. I did another beauty treatment on myself and I like messed my face up. You guys can't tell, and that's a good thing. But also Pisces risings, you guys could also see how you have reactivated your beauty to a certain degree, okay? And that's going to be a very lovely thing. You could feel like you are now kind of coming back out and showing yourself to the world, which is also very awesome. Let's move forward. Aries, this particular Mercury retrograde could cause you to deal with certain fears. It could also cause you to deal with a certain level of illness, especially with the lungs. This is a time to strengthen your lungs, you know. Just take care of that part of yourself. Also, Aries, you guys could be dealing with situations in regards to your sleep or sleep patterns, but you also can feel like you are reaching or experiencing a dreamlike reality. It depends on the side that you are on within this reality. Now, when it comes to Taurus is, you guys are going to be having some unfoldments happening within the lives of your friends. You could be reconnecting with friends, going on a vacation with a friend, or you guys could also be dealing with a certain level of miracles coming into your life. You know, a friend could introduce you to a good book, or you could finally finish a book that a friend introduced to you and feel like it really has changed your life. Or you could be having a new mental perspective on things. You also want to be mindful of accidents. Now, when it comes to and issues in regards to social media and the internet too. In regards to, what's the next sign? We just did Taurus. So Gemini, you guys are going to be dealing with matters in regards to your business, your career. There could be some miscommunication. You can lose your job. There could be some paperwork that you need to turn in. There could be some issues with your drug test. You know, for those of you who get drug tested, these kinds of things can happen. You could have a supervisor feel ill and you have to kind of step into their position. And yeah, you guys could be even work. Some of you may be working on writing your legacy. Now, when it comes to Cancers, this is a time where you may be called to discontinue overindulging in certain things, okay? Aries too, you guys may need to quit smoking. There's going to be a lot about quitting drugs or quit smoking and all of this type of stuff in general for everyone. But yeah, so Cancers, there could be things happening in regards to your belief systems. You know, you guys may be feeling like you need to rethink things and recalibrate the way that you are handling things when it comes to your spirituality. Also, you guys could be going back to school. You guys could also be getting back into some form of a religion or some form of a spirituality, or you guys could be traveling somewhere as well. And you also want to be mindful of your cars and things like that too. But you guys could also be reaching a certain level of abundance in your life as well, which is very lovely. Now, when it comes to the sign Leo, you guys are going to be, you guys may be having to take a bit of a step back from having sex, from engaging in sexual activity. Maybe your partner is not present for you to engage with them in that way, or maybe you realize that you have a sexually transmitted disease. You have to take care of certain things in that particular area. But also, you guys may be called to recalibrate your spirituality. You may be dealing with people that you feel are trying to sabotage you, or maybe you feel like there's a hex put on you and you need to do something in regards to that, you know? You guys also may be having to deal with a certain level of like paperwork and things like that when it comes to your credits and debts. You may feel that you are dealing with some type of identity theft issue. Pisces risings, you guys can deal with that too. Now let's move on. Virgos in Virgo risings, you guys could be dealing with situations in regards to your partnerships. Maybe your partner is not going to be around so much during this particular retrograde. Maybe you are going through a breakup. You guys could be having miscommunication, or there could be an issue with the distance between you guys, or there could be a certain level of fear and philophobia, like I was talking about, the fear of becoming in love, you know, that you guys are having to recalibrate and or deal with. But also some of you may be reconnecting with an ex, or your relationship is refurbishing and you guys are feeling like you are living that dream reality once again. Okay, so or yeah, that dream relationship could be unfolding out to you, and you just have to rethink things, you know. Now when it comes to Libra, you guys are dealing with situations in regards to your work or your schedules. Maybe you're traveling to work is really thrown off with your scheduling. You guys could be falling asleep on the job, and maybe you pregnant and or something is going on with your health or your nutrition and is making you really tired and you're not performing to your efficiency. And also you guys are going to be called to let go of a certain level of superficiality, vanity, or perfectionism too. Or maybe you have someone that you work with, a coworker, that is dealing with fear or dealing with ideas of vanity and perfectionism, and they need a word of wisdom from you. And but also you guys may be getting sick from a coworker, or maybe people at your job are sick and you feel like there's a lot of pressure applied to you. Now, when it comes to Scorpios, you guys could be dealing with situations in regards to your dating life. Maybe some of you are pulling back from the idea of dating for a little bit and feeling like you're dealing with a bunch of liars and these people are just not what it is. You guys could even deal with the situation where somebody that you are dating steals something from you. Or you guys could also be feeling like, wow, this person that I'm dating, I may have overlooked them. I need to take them a bit more seriously and go further with this. Maybe you guys are reconnecting with a old lover, or even a lover from childhood, you know, or maybe you're talking about that or thinking about that, reflecting upon those things. And mind you, you guys, you could just be thinking about this stuff, talking about it, or reflecting on these things that I am mentioning. Now, also, Scorpios, you want to be mindful of your children. They could be feeling ill. You know, they may not be performing at their best levels, and they may be sucking when it comes to their chores. Now, when it comes to Sagittarius, you guys could be dealing with issues in regards to your living. Oh, Leos, thank you so much. No, I mentioned Leos. You kind of late. I talked about Leos. Yeah, you late, sis. Or I don't know if that's a sis or Marnie, you late. I spoke about Leos, but I'm about to be done in a little bit, so you'll be able to catch the recording. I highly recommend you listen to what I said to Leos, because y'all got some deep stuff happening with this particular retrograde. Now, before I finish up, I have to do who I got to do. I got to do Sag, I got to do Capricorn, and I have to do Aquarius. But for those of you who have just joined me, I do want to let you guys know, Astrologic, we are real astrology together. Also, we have our Eclipse Chasers retreat coming up, and we are, you know, taking deposits now. It's only $270 to hold your space to travel with us to Chile and to see the total solar eclipse. And we're also giving fundamental readings, dynamic readings from 2 astrologers at one time, telling you how a sidereal astrologer and a tropical astrologer telling you how this eclipse is going to affect you in your world. Now, let me finish up. Sagittarius, there could be things going on with your home. There could be issues in regards to your paperwork. You know, your lease may be up during this particular retrograde, or you could be redecorating your home, you know, and this could be a time too where you're reconnecting with family members, or feeling a bit lost, or, you know, emotionally dealing with some emotional issues, and kind of rethinking your past, thinking about the things that you did wrong as well as what others have done, and just dealing with some family matters at this particular time. Or maybe your family are not feeling so well at this particular time too. Now, when it comes to Capricorns, you guys may be dealing with issues in regards to your neighbors or your siblings or your cousins, and they may be feeling ill. Or this could be a time where you are having to finish reading a book that you were reading, or finish writing a book that you started writing. Now, this also could be a time where you guys are dealing with having to think about your traveling, you know, how you're getting around the city, you know, bus passes or driving your car, you know, handling things like that. You could lose your license or lose these types of things, okay? Now, Capricorns, you guys also could have you guys have to think about the way that you are communicating with others and think and recalibrate your thoughts. You could be dealing with more psychological issues, or Leos could be dealing with some psychological issues, but Capricorns, you guys could be dealing with like just darker thoughts or fearful thoughts at this particular time. You also want to take care of your lungs, your breathing, and your communication in general, okay? Now, Aquarius, you guys are going to be experiencing situations in regards to your finances. If you've been waiting on some money to come in, this is a time where your money is going to come in, but you want to be mindful when it comes to your money, what you're spending your money on, who's around your money. There could be thievery when it comes to your money, you know, or you could deal with a loss of finances and things like that. So you want to be mindful, or you could feel like you're a little shortchanged in the pockets. But also, this is a time where if you've been on a diet, you can go back to eating certain foods, or you may not have access to certain foods that you like to have. But also, this could be a time where you guys are deciding to pull back from eating certain types of snacky type foods and pulling back from certain things. And you guys are having to recollect your sense of self-worth and your self-confidence, you know, just the value of who you are. Maybe something is happening that's making you feel valuable, or maybe something is happening that's making you not feel so valuable, and you have to recalibrate that. Nevertheless, you guys, this is a brief snapshot of how the retrograde is going to affect all 12 signs. Of course, if you want a more detailed reading, get with me so we can look at the planets and look at further into the houses, and I don't have to just give you a 1-minute rundown because it's going to be doing so much more. I just want to say thank you guys for tuning in to my talks. I am still working on getting my recorded videos out there. I recorded so much, but I dealt with water damage of my computer, but I got my computer back, hence the retrograde. And but yeah, I'm going to be putting some more content out there, and I just really love and appreciate all of you who support me. It really helps a lot. And when you patronize me, you are helping to take care of 2 brilliant little children, including myself. Yeah, you did miss it, but I'm about to end it right now, and you can watch it from the beginning so you can get the whole thing. Very fundamental information. For those of you who do not follow me on social media, check me out on Instagram and check me out on Facebook, because I did a live last night with Darren Lamont and we gave way more information. But I just wanted to get on here and give it for all 12 signs of the zodiac. You know your girl loves you. So peace and divine light to you all.